Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about The Room. So first things first, if I got the DVD or the Blu-ray, I gotta flex it for no apparent reason. So that's what I'm going to do here. You got that beautiful cover. You got the boy Tommy Wiseau front and center. You got the back, little glare going on. Oh heck yeah. You know what the heck is going on. And you got the inside here. You got some little inserts. You got Tommy Wiseau's headshot, right there. Beautiful headshot. Handsome gentleman, classic man. And on the back, you got a ad for TommyWiseau.com for men's boxers and men's brief. Pretty much you got an ad for TommyWiseau.com to buy men's underwear. So usually I would be a little weirded out if I were to get a DVD or a Blu-ray and there was just a random ad for underwear in it. I would be like, well gee, like that's out of place. That's a kind of like a peculiar place to put an underwear advertisement. But when you're talking about The Room DVD, I'm telling you what, if there wasn't an advertisement for underwear with Tommy Wiseau's name on it, I would be kind of shocked. I'd be like, I bought The Room DVD, I paid like $10 for this. I was expecting something crazy, something eccentric. I thought there would be underwear advertisements. What the heck? What is this? It's just a regular DVD. There's nothing in it. So, yeah, an underwear advertisement in the case, very on par with this movie. So that's thebomb.com. I might have to pick up some of those underwear. They're pretty darn cool. And I mean, if Tommy Wiseau is watching this, which I mean he probably is. I mean I'm a big name. I'm a big name in the YouTube game, So if he's watching this, hey Tommy Wiseau, like throw me a little sponsorship. I'll do one of those like in video YouTube ads, and I'll just model the underwear. Or I could do that. I could be sponsored, or just like make me a model on the website, throw me just like a couple mil or something slight, something light. Yeah, that'd be cool. But anyways, let me get back into the main programming for today. We're gonna be talking about The Room. So here's the deal. This was the first time that I'm messing around with I got a lot of stuff going on here. We got notes, we got the movie, we got a lot of stuff. Anyways, this was the first time watch for me. I did see the Disaster Artist like right around the time it came out, and that was a good movie. I've known about The Room before then. Like I've known about this movie like for forever. It's a super famous movie. It's like how do you not know about this? Everyone knows about this movie. So I've known about this movie for years, but I just never got around to watching it. Like I've said in a bunch of these YouTube videos, I got all kinds of eBay gift cards. I got probably 80 mil in eBay gift cards stocked up. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead, pull the trigger, buy this movie, watch the whole thing, and I enjoyed it, which was surprising to me because a lot of these so bad they're good type movies, I'm like really hyped about it. I'm really interested in, because I'll see like the little clips and the iconic scenes, but then when I sit down to watch the entire movie, like the rest of the movie is just like boring and hard to get through. This movie was entertaining throughout. I didn't absolutely love it. I didn't think it was like the funniest thing I've ever seen, but I enjoyed it. I was not bored at all. I was entertained throughout. I was engaged. So yeah, and there were some super funny moments. So yeah, it was a good time. I liked it. But before I get too deep into the review, I'm gonna give you all a little plot summary. This movie kind of like meanders a lot, so I don't even really know how to. I'm just gonna give a very simple plot summary. That's how we're gonna do it. So you got Johnny, played by the man, the myth, the legend, Tommy Wiseau. He's like a banker. He's pretty much like balling. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's a good guy. He's dating this woman Lisa, and they're about to get married. And you think they have like a beautiful relationship, but Lisa, she's not feeling Johnny anymore, and she is starting to become unfaithful, and she decides to cheat on Johnny with who else than his best friend Mark. I mean, out of anyone she could have cheated on him with, she has to pick like his gosh darn best friend. I mean, is this not a recipe for disaster? Come on, anyone. You could have, I don't know. But anyways, so yeah, the main plot of the story is you got this love triangle where, you know, Johnny is in love with Lisa, wants to get married to her, they're living together, but then Lisa is cheating on Johnny with his best friend Mark, and Mark is trying to cover it up, and you know, Lisa is trying to cover it up, and she like progressively acts more like a sociopath as the movie goes on. Like, she just does not care, and it's like almost like funny. Like she's just like a straight up sociopath. But yeah, that's the basic plot summary. I hope I did that justice, but yeah, that's like the basic premise. A lot of it's kind of random, so it's hard to get like too deep into a plot summary. So yeah, there you go. Now I'm gonna get into the meat and potatoes of the review here. First things first. First thing I got in my little handy dandy notebook here. So something that I really like about this movie, I like the spirit behind it. You know, it's kind of like a vanity project. Like, Tommy Wiseau was just like, you know, like, F it, man. I want to make my own movie. Like, I'm not, you know, like Mark and I were not, or what's Mark's name in real life? I think it's like Greg Sestero. So he's like, you know, he's like, Greg and I, we're not getting roles like that. We're not getting booked for roles. Like, F it, man. Let's make our own movie. Like, I like that energy. Like, man, nobody's helping us. No one's like putting us on. Like, let's do it ourselves. I like that type of like attitude. Like, they're just like, let's make a movie, and they like totally like did it their own way. It's just, I think stuff like that's cool, and I like the fact that it's like a vanity project. Like, you see it's like, and even before like the opening credits, you see like a Wiseau film, Wiseau Productions, and he's got like his own logo. Like, it's like his own movie studio, which I think he does have his own movie studio. Like, he's put out like other films besides this. Like, even recently, like, he doesn't put out like a lot of movies, but yeah, he puts out a decent amount of movies. And Greg Sestero, I hope I'm saying that name right. He's in like quite a few of Tommy Wiseau's other movies, or at least in some of the newer ones. But anyways, yeah, I like how, like, you know, it's like Tommy Wiseau just like did it all himself. He's like, it's like cool. Like, he's just some rich, mysterious dude who's like, oh, I'm balling like that. Like let me just drop all this money on a movie. Like, isn't that like, even though like people do make fun of this movie and it is like so bad it's a good movie, like, that's kind of baller. Like, isn't that everyone who's watching is like dream? Like, if you're like into movies and stuff, like, if you just had like fat money, if you were just balling, like, wouldn't you just want to like make your own movie? And it's like, it has that vibe of like, it was just a bunch of friends who got together who didn't really know what they were doing, and they just like had fun and made a movie. I mean, in the movie there were like the Disaster Artist movie, there were like trials and tribulations, and there was like fighting and there were problems, but I don't know, that's like the vibe that I got from watching it. It was just some people who like, some young people who like, well, I guess they're not that young. Well, he was pretty young in this, but anyways, yeah, like just some people who like got together and didn't really know what they're doing and just like had fun and made their own movie. So I thought that was really cool. But yeah, it's like, it's funny, like in addition to like the Wiseau Films or Wiseau Productions, like the opening credits, it's like Tommy Wiseau's everything. Written by Tommy Wiseau, directed by Tommy Wiseau, produced by Tommy Wiseau, and then like he's the star. Like that's baller. Like if you did have the money to make your own movie, wouldn't you want to just like put your name in like every big credit and then have yourself be like the main star of the movie? Like that's gangster. Like shouts out to Tommy Wiseau. Like he's like he's a G. Like he's a cool, like he's like a mysterious individual. He's like a vampire. Like he might be 3,000 years old. I don't know. Nobody knows anything about him. Like that's cool. Like he's like a ominous figure. He's like a cult star. Like he's a G. Moving on here. So I think I briefly touched on this earlier, but I'm just gonna like kind of pretty much say the same thing because I wrote it down, so I have to say it. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just thinking out loud, but I was just kind of joking. I don't know. I don't know how to talk real good. But anyways, you know, I am always excited to watch the So Bad They're Good type movies. Like Troll 2, I was like really obsessed with watching. But then once I saw it, you know, other than like the couple standout scenes that everyone knows about, like the overall movie was boring for me. Maybe if I rewatch it for the channel one day, I'll like it more. But like I feel like I've watched Troll 2 like 2 times or 3 times or something like that, and like every time I watch it I fall asleep. Like I can't even finish it. Like I like the funny scenes, but like the movie overall I can't get into. And then I did Samurai Cop on the channel, and if I recall correctly, I don't think I gave that a very good review. But this movie, like, it was just entertaining throughout. Like I don't know what it was, but it was entertaining throughout. There was those funny so bad they're good type scenes, and everything about the movie was kind of weird and wonky, and like everyone's delivery was weird and the dialogue was weird. There was like weird random situations. It was just like interesting. It was just like a wild ride, and I was into it. I was just, you know, I was entertained. Like it was engaging. I wasn't like tuning out mentally or like bored throughout, you know. It's not like since like a lot of the standout scenes in the movie I've like known about and I've seen clips of, it wasn't like I was like laughing out loud throughout. Like some scenes I was like actually laughing at, like some of the sex scenes and stuff, but other than that, like I wasn't laughing out loud throughout the whole movie because I have like seen a lot of the standout funny scenes. But there were other instances besides the sex stuff where I was laughing out loud. But even like scenes that weren't like overtly funny, they were just like, there was something about them that was just like entertaining. Like the whole movie was entertaining. I was not bored. I didn't feel like I wanted to fall asleep. Like I stayed up like late to watch this, and I was like, I had to finish it. So that says something. It's an entertaining movie. That's at the end of the day, what's the job of a movie? To be entertaining. Like however it gets to that destination, I don't really care. If it's like a so bad it's good route, cool. Like as long as it's not boring, as long as it's, you know, not forgettable, like if it's memorable, if it's entertaining, that's all we need. So this movie was definitely entertaining. Alright, moving on. There's this one scene where there's this like clean cut kid. I think his name's Denny, but I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the kid's name's Denny in the movie. He's like this clean cut kid that Tommy Wiseau's character Johnny like pays for his school, and they're like on the balcony, which the balcony is funny. Like all the sets in this movie, they're like really bad sets, which is hilarious because on Wikipedia it says the budget for this movie is 6 million. It's like, where did that money go? But I guess like Tommy Wiseau had to like buy all the equipment. Like they're like, you sure you don't want to rent it? He's like, no, we're buying it. So maybe that's where the 6 million went. Definitely didn't go to the sets because like this like rooftop set, it's like so cheesy looking, and it's like a CGI backdrop. Like all the sets in this movie look terrible, but it's awesome. But anyways, there's this kid, the clean cut kid, Denny. He's on the roof, and then some like random like drug dealer comes out. It's so random. There's like no other like scene like this in the movie. Like up to this point, like this dude just like whips out a gun and he's like, give me my money, give me my money. Because like before that, it's like a romance film. It's like a drama, and this dude like whips out the gun and he's like, give me my money, give me my money. And the guy, he's like, he's asking for like drug money. And then like Lisa and her mom come back and they question this kid Denny after, and they're like Lisa's performance, like the actor who plays Lisa, her reactions in this scene are like absolutely hilarious. She's like overacting to the extreme, like kind of like in the movie Pieces, when that one lady's like, you bastards, bastards. Like I didn't even say that right because she's like blowing out the microphone in that movie, but it's like that, like she's like blowing out the microphone, just like screaming. Her voice is like all like distorted, like she's just like yelling, like screaming, like hysterical, but not in like a believable way, and like totally overreacting. And it's so funny. She's like, what drugs are you taking? What drugs are you taking? And it's so funny. But I just think that scene's funny because they're like, what drugs are you taking? Are you selling the drugs? And just in my head, like I'm just like imagining like, cause if it's just like if he's just buying weed, it's not that funny. But if you imagine like this kid just like buying hard drugs, I don't know why, but it's like the funniest thing ever. Like this like little like clean cut kid, and just like how he acts, he's got this like little like positive demeanor, and like just like imagining him like just he's like doing Percocets, he's like doing like opiates, like he's like sipping lean and shit, like he's off like the hard drugs, like that's just like hilarious. And what's even funnier is just thinking like that this guy is like fronting him drugs, and he's like a drug runner, he's like a drug dealer, like that's hilarious. Like if this like what if this kid Denny, what if he's like a hustler like that? Like what if he's like trapping, you know? I would like to imagine that he is, like in my head, in my version of the story, like Denny, he's this clean cut act, it's all a facade, and he's really like big time trapping. He's like pushing weight, he's got like bricks of cocaine that he's like flipping, like that's like my like ideal version of Denny. So I don't know, the more I thought about that, the more hilarious I thought it was. So I don't know, I could be overthinking it, but it's like, I mean, do we know what drugs he was buying? No. Do we know if he was like selling drugs? We don't know. So it's up for interpretation. That's theater of the mind right there, you know. So that got me thinking. So yeah, this is a very thought-provoking movie, you know, like straight up. But anyways, moving on. The sex scenes. You got to talk about the sex scenes. So the sex scenes in this are like the longest sex scenes I've seen in any movie ever. Like I was like looking at my watch. I don't even have a watch. I was looking at the time, and I was like, is this sex scenes still going on? Like it was like real time. Like, were they actually having sex? Because it was like, I mean, but in the time that this sex scene was, like someone could have got a little quick session in. So I don't know. Maybe they were actually having sex. I'm joking. I know that they were not. But something else that was like hilarious, especially about it was only about the Tommy Wiseau sex scenes. Like the sex scenes with Mark weren't that funny. They were really long though, and the music was kind of funny. But the sex scenes with Tommy Wiseau were super funny because basically he wasn't in the right position. Like he didn't like he had his his manhood. He had it like at her like stomach level. But it was like, but he was like piping away. He was doing like long strokes, like, but it was pretty much like at her belly button, and it was just so funny, like that. I actually laughed out loud at, and then I'm thinking, man, this is like, what the heck are they doing? But then I'm thinking like maybe he's actually a genius. Maybe Johnny is or no, maybe Johnny was just mistaken. Maybe he like, maybe he put it in the wrong area. Maybe he accidentally slipped it in the belly button. Maybe it was just like a little mistake. Or maybe he's just, maybe he's just not, maybe he doesn't have any like condominiums at the moment and he doesn't want to take any chances. So he's like, let me just like slip it in the belly button real quick. Then it's like no risk. I won't have any little children's running around. I won't get any, any diseases or anything. Let me just slip it in the belly button right quick. She won't even notice. So yeah, maybe Johnny's a genius. Maybe he's just reinventing the wheel. He's like, he's putting his thing in uncharted lands. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I feel like I'm being kind of inappropriate, but I'm not being that inappropriate. I'm just having fun. So anyways, had to mention the sex scenes. They're iconic. They're great. They really get me going. They really get me in the mood. No, I'm just kidding. And then another standout like funny scene was Lisa's mom. She's just like, I'm dying. And then she's just like, the doctors, they said I definitely, wait, am I saying it right? They're like, you definitely have cancer. I don't know if I delivered that right. Like, I don't even know if anyone else can deliver the line the way this woman delivered it, but she's like, yep, the results are back. I definitely have cancer. Like, she just said, I don't know, like the way she delivers it is so like nonchalant, and it's almost in like an upbeat tone. Yep, I definitely have cancer. Like, it's that like line of dialogue. I don't think I've heard that before watching the movie. And when I heard that, when she's like, I definitely have cancer, and delivered it all weird like that and upbeat, and like she sounded like optimistic in her delivery, or like but like kind of like flat. I don't know, at the same time, but like that doesn't really make sense. Like, I don't know, but her delivery didn't make sense, and it was just so funny. Like Lisa's mom was great. Like, she had like the strangest delivery, but that line, I mean, that piece of dialogue was pure gold. So I really enjoyed that. I got one more little bullet point here that I want to talk about, and then I'm gonna wrap things up. So basically, there's, throughout the movie, Johnny and all his buddies, they're always like playing catch with a football. That's like a recurring theme. At one point, Johnny's playing catch with this guy in a park, and he like tackles him, and I was just and when I was watching the movie, when like Johnny tackled the guy, it looked like the guy like didn't want to go down. Like, it looked like Tommy Wiseau like forcefully was like really forcefully like trying to throw this guy down, and the guy like wasn't going down. That's kind of what it looked like to me. And then I started thinking again. Like I said, this movie, it's just very thought-provoking movie, just kidding. But anyways, yeah, I was just thinking like, man, since Tommy Wiseau wrote this, directed it, produced it, starred in it, it's his production company. Since all that, since he's kind of running the show, I would like to imagine in my perfect world that he did 50 takes for this scene just so he could tackle that fool like 50 times, and he would just make some BS excuse. He'd be like, no, the lighting was off. The lighting was off. No, there was a shadow. We have to do that again. No, the way I threw the football, my arm movement wasn't correct, and no, that tackle didn't look cool. I didn't look badass enough. Yeah, that's what I would like to believe. Like in a perfect world, like I would like to believe that Tommy Wiseau, since he was the director and he could do whatever he wanted, I like to imagine that he just shot that scene 50 times so that he could just straight up tackle the fool as much as he wanted. Cause that's like the vibe that I got from it. Like the guy didn't want to be tackled. Like he had just been tackled like 10 times and like he wasn't going down. He was like bracing himself. So I sure hope that's how things went down. That he just abused his power as director and just repeatedly tackled that individual. But it was good. It probably built, gave him not like probably built some character, gave him some nice character development. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, that was the last little random point that I had to touch. So I'm gonna give you all my recommendation, and then I'm gonna head out of here. So you know what? I said that I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was entertaining, so I would recommend it. Um, definitely too. Like if you're a fan of that movie, The Disaster Artist. Like if you've seen that movie but you haven't seen this, you gotta see the actual movie. And if you're a fan of So Bad They're Good type movies, I think this is one of the better ones. And yeah, I would recommend it. I don't know if this is on any streaming right now or where you can rent it right now. I personally would not pay a lot for it. I spent like $10 on it. I would not spend more than that. Like even though I would recommend it, if it's like if you're not able to get it for uh for like around $10, I would just watch clips on YouTube because you're pretty much getting the gist. Like there's this one YouTube video and it's like called like Best of the Room and it's 17 minutes long. Like if you can't find the movie on streaming and if you can't find it for cheap, I would just say if you watch that 17-minute video, The Best of the Room, like that gives you the gist. That has like some of the best scenes from the movie in it, and that's like pretty much just as good as watching the movie. So even though I would recommend the movie, I would not recommend like going through some wild goose chase to see it. So yeah, that's that. But anyways, I said everything that I wanted to say about The Room, so I'm about to head out here. Thank you all very much for watching, and peace out.